Hello, everyone, and welcome to, yet again, another episode of I See Bad Movies. I'm one of your hosts, Dave Keane, and I'm joined by the lunar, lovely Emma Spicer.
Hi.
Hi, I guess. So that's a little clue to our movie, though.
Yes.
As to what is going to be our film today. This is season 7, episode 3. We are currently diving into what I would only describe as...
Bad movies in space.
Exactly, and that's the only way to describe them. Emma, would you like to tell our lovely listeners the name of the film that we are watching tonight?
Yes, it is Cat Women of the Moon.
And
you can hear that weird little noise, that's a dog having a dream, I think, isn't it?
it is.
It's the cutest little sound.
It's do you know when people do that will like flick on their cheek and
His little nose is going, yeah. He's having a dream. He's actually properly asleep.
oh wow. Oh, we got to be very
Wake him up because he'll be
quiet.
annoying.
Especially
You like it when Milo's asleep.
have you said the name of the film?
Yeah, I just did, didn't
Yeah,
I?
you did, didn't you? Yeah. Especially because it's cat women on the moon. We don't want them getting barking at the TV.
No.
So, you know, how those pesky cat women on the moon can be. Emma, this is a bit of a departure for us, isn't it, this film?
This is the oldest film
Yeah.
we've done, I think.
It's
50s?
Yeah, it's 1953, which puts it at 71 years old.
Wow.
71 years old.
Yeah, that's definitely the oldest we've done, isn't it? I think we've gone to the 80s. I don't think we've gone to the 70s even, have we? Oh, we might have gone to 70s.
I think we have
No
gone
earlier than
in the
that.
definitely no earlier than the 70s. Yeah.
No.
I know. This is a departure. So fully black and white.
Yeah.
This film has less minutes in it than The Age is as well. So absolute Brucey
Yeah.
bonus. This has got all the hallmarks of being the cream of the crop. And yes, that was a cat-based, cream-based joke.
Are you proud of that?
Funnily enough, no. Usually I'm proud of them. This time I wasn't. I was actually quite disappointed in myself. Anyway, would you like to hear the synopsis of this film?
I would.
All right. So five astronauts travel to the dark side of the moon on a scientific expedition. There, they discover a cave which somehow retains a breathable atmosphere. They remove their spacesuits and venture on, soon finding a buried city where the last members of a 2 million year old civilization greet them with food and drink. Little do they know that these 8 lovely leotard-clad women are planning to steal their ship. Ooh. Lovely leotard-clad. That's how I wish I'd introduced you.
Lovely.
Here's the lovely leotard-clad Emma Spicer.
But I'm not wearing a leotard.
No, I know, but I'm imagining
know
that
that.
you're in costume from Space Mutiny, the last
yeah, I was gonna
episode.
say, that was leotards as well, wasn't it?
It was leotards. This isn't me picking all these films, by the way.
Yeah.
Little something for David here.
You picked the last one, didn't you?
Yes,
I found this one, but
you
picked the
found
last
this one. You found this one.
Okay.
And absolutely holding my hands up, I had no idea about space leotards and it becoming the uniform of the future for women only,
Yeah.
not the men.
No.
Fully decked out the
No,
men.
nobody wants to see a man in a leotard, do they? They're very unforgiving, aren't they?
yeah. Put the mouse back in the house. This is a family
Don't
show.
want stuff falling out.
No. Shall I flip the coin and see if we're going to focus on the good or the bad of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Or drop the coin.
I dropped the coin. I'm going to flick that again because that was dreadful. That was a good flip.
Good.
Good? No.
Bad.
We're looking at the bad. Oh, so we're going to have a little... What was that sigh?
I don't know.
That was a very like... Oh. So we're going to be
you
looking...
okay?
Yeah.
Do you need to talk?
Well, no.
It all started in my childhood.
Tell us everything, kid. This one time at the cinema. Sorry, just quoting the Goonies for you there. Do you know what I saw amazing? I mentioned the Goonies,
Yeah.
but on Lego Ideas, which is kind of like a place where you can... People suggest like Lego sets and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. And if they get voted on enough and it's viable, Lego make them.
Oh, okay.
And the One-Eyed Willy ship from Goonies
Yeah.
came up. And I was like, oh.
Thought we were just going to stop at One Eye Willy then, Nelson. If you don't know, I can't make a Lego one of those.
I'm sure you can, but you're not getting that in a Lego
I don't
shop.
think
You're not getting that in a Lego shop, no. Right, I picked last week, didn't I? So
It's my turn to pick.
would you like to pick our cards? Let me fan them out and hand them over so you can have a little selection. There we go, Emma.
Okay, I've got...
Well, the moon.
The moon or Earth. Actress.
Okay.
Music. Casting.
Oh.
Special effects.
And special
But it
effects.
is 50s, so I won't...
That's not bad. That's not bad. So could you just read those out again?
So we've got location, actress, music, casting, and special effects.
Smashing. All right. Well, I think as this is a short film anyway, let's stop prattling on.
Yeah.
I'm talking more about myself here. I'm the prattler. Shall we go and watch Catwoman of the Moon?
I think we should.
Let's do it. Well, welcome back, Emma. We've just watched Catwoman of the Moon.
We have, and we survived.
We did survive. But do you know what's even more amazing than watching Catwoman of the Moon?
What?
Well, as our dear listeners probably are aware, one evening we get together, we'll record our intro and we'll watch the movie.
Yep.
And then another evening we'll get together and we'll record the episode. Because we've tried it before, watching the film and recording all in one night.
Takes a long time.
Takes a long time. So on my drive home last night, when I got out the car...
Catwoman of the Moon.
Well, I hate to say it, but even better than a Catwoman of the Moon.
Yes.
Excuse me. I feel like I'm making a big announcement here, but I'm not.
You're pregnant.
Well, yes. Yes, I am. I'm cradling my big pregnant belly right now. No, I checked my phone and we had a notification
Yes.
telling us that we had a new Patreon member.
Yes, we do, yes.
Amazing. So I'd like to give a great big Icy Bad Movies welcome to Rebecca Brink.
Yes, welcome, Rebecca.
Yeah, thank you very
for your
much.
Feedback as well.
Yes, the feedback. That was really lovely to hear. Thank you so much for that, for your recommendation. And yes, I promise you, everyone, we're saving up for better
We are
recording
saving
equipment.
Up, yes,
I
do
promise
to
you,
get
we really are.
better mics. And I'm sorry about the background noise. A lot of it is my dog. He
Yes.
will sleep through the entire movie, but then as soon as we hit record, he wants to run around making a noise, playing with toys.
Yeah. He was really good last night watching the film. He was fantastic watching the
great.
film. He was just lulled in between us, wasn't he?
He slept by your feet while we recorded the intro, then he
Yeah.
slept on the sofa while we watched the movie, and then tonight I don't even know where he is now, but he was just running around this room and then getting toys out noisily. So it's like he knows. He's sabotaging us.
He knows. Right. So, but again, thank you very much, Rebecca, and welcome to the Patreon. Anyone can join the Patreon. It's $3 a month. Get on down.
It's nothing, is it?
It's nothing. It's not even the cost of a coffee nowadays, is
No,
it?
it's not.
Crikey. Anyway, obviously your money's your own. You can decide what to do with it.
But sign up.
You better sign up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sign up. And then we can maybe afford these better mics sometime sooner because, we're getting there, I promise. Right, shall we do a little run through the synopsis of Catwoman of the Moon?
Yes.
And then we'll talk about our categories and also we'll talk about quite a lot of wild cards, actually, for this film.
The categories weren't amazing for this one, so we have got a lot of other bits and pieces to talk about though.
And there were definitely some really funny little things in this film that are worth covering. Absolutely. Our movie starts. We've got Moon Rocket number 4, which implies 1, 2, and 3 maybe failed.
Maybe
but
didn't make it,
they don't really go into that. Moon Rocket 4 launches from Earth. Now, the crew is pinned to their chairs by the enormous G-forces created by the liftoff. And
yes,
if a director said to you, Emma, I want you to act like you're pinned to the chair by the enormous G-forces, Would you lie back as if you're constipated? With a
Possibly.
constipated face? There was some weird...
There was some interesting facial expressions, and they were all kind of clutching the chair, weren't they? Like they were glued to it.
It was so odd.
And the chairs were really odd as well, weren't they?
Well, they looked like garden recliners,
They did,
some of them.
But they were like different levels as well, weren't there?
Yeah, some were stacked up and...
Yeah, some were higher up than others. It was just a strange...
It really was. So, on the radio, we hear frantic calls from Earth asking them to report in immediately. And finally, the pressure eases, and the commander of the flight, a fella called Laird Granger, he begins checking on the crew. They're all kind of slowly, as if they're easing themselves up. Because we see a few shots of the rocket flying through space at this point.
The rocket is amazing.
It really is. It's... I described it as something, which I don't think I'll say here, but it wasn't a million miles off, was it?
I described it as something as well.
Yeah. Was it... no, don't worry. No. I won't say this because it's one of my good lines that I think is going to come up, so I won't say this. Laird Granger, he's the commander. He begins checking on the crew. You got Helen Salinger, who's the only female crew member, and the navigator. She's the first to respond as she shakes off the effects of the launch. Granger wants an immediate situation report from everyone. Helen confirms they're on course, and Granger reports that to White Sands Control. So this is the control team from Earth. He hands off to the co-pilot Kip Reisner, and Helen offers a few words before allowing Doug Smith, the ship's radio operator, to speak. And a fella called Walt Walters, who I'm assuming is maybe their communications person, he sends a message home saying, they're fine, they're good.
You did hear that right, by the way, Walt Walters.
Walt Walters. Yeah, you got Doug Douglason, Helen Hellenson, Walt Walters.
And then Alienson.
Catherine Catson.
Catty Catwoman.
Now, there's a little bit of chit-chat between the crew, and then we have like a meteor or some sort of flashing thing hit the ship.
Yeah.
Because in the vastness of space, the chances that you, in a little rocket flying between the Earth and the Moon, are going to be hit by a meteor.
Of course.
It's 50 to 1.
Also, we are going to talk about special effects, but the listeners need to bear in mind this is a 1950s movie.
Yes.
So the special effects, I mean, for a bad movie, you couldn't hope for more.
I've seen, although to be fair, I think I've seen worse special effects in a 1980s movie for some of it. Yeah. Okay. In comparison, if you
black and
compare...
white as well, so I'd love to see this movie in colour.
Oh, that'd be great.
So it was a bit, because I don't ever watch old black and white movies, so that's a little bit distracting for me, because you're just so used to colour, aren't you?
Yes.
That you have to kind of imagine the scenery a bit more, because it's just black and white, so you don't get an idea, really, do you, of what... Because like when they land on the moon, the moon doesn't look like how the moon actually looks, so...
No, it doesn't.
It'd be nice to see it in colour to see what it would actually look like, but yeah, it's all black and white, so we don't...
I'd especially like to see it because at one point they go into a cave that's gold.
Yes.
Full of gold.
Yeah. And
I'd like to have seen...
Yeah.
Because that's the thing as well. When it comes to black and white movies, like a good example is in the film Psycho.
Yeah. The
blood in the shower when is it Tippi Hedren's character is being killed? I can't remember who. Is it Tippi Hedren? I can't remember if it's Tippi Hedren that plays her. Gets killed in the shower by Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
Spoilers, not Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn is from Spider-Man. Norman Bateman, I think. Yeah, Norman Bates. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was going to say
Bates
Bateman
Motel.
Is,
yeah.
American Psycho, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what I was getting. I was like Norman Osborn, Norman Bateman. No, right. Psycho, American Psycho. No, Psycho, Norman Bates, because it's Bates Motel. When he's stabbing her in the shower and the blood's going down round the drain in the bathroom, it's actually chocolate sauce. Because the fake blood colour didn't look right in black and white. Yeah. So chocolate sauce looked more visceral, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I'd be amazed to see, like you say, it would be interesting to see this in colour.
Yeah.
Or like back in the day when they were filming it, what it looked like. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been good. So the ship is hit by something, and Granger believes it to be a meteor that's now lodged itself in the rocket tubes. Okay. And they decide to they decide to maneuver the ship kind of wildly to try and dislodge the meteor.
And we do see a far off shot of the ship moving, don't we?
And it kind of it does like a spinny wobbly thing.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And it works though. They do manage to dislodge the meteor, but it appears that they've damaged the ship engines. Now, Kip volunteers to go and check the engines and don some protective equipment. Now, when he first put this protective equipment
It's not
on...
very protective though, is it? Come on.
No, it wasn't.
Thinnest material we've ever seen.
We thought, oh my god, is this their spacesuit?
Yeah,
but it
then
wasn't.
We
It
did
wasn't.
see the spacesuits later on, and they were even worse.
This did honestly look like just a canvas clothing with a canvas hood.
Yeah, like
With a gas mask on.
outfit.
Yeah, it was a beekeeper. Yeah, it was very much like a beekeeper's outfit. Absolutely right.
I want to be a beekeeper. I want to keep bees. I want them to get away. I want to keep them. Have you seen that Eddie Izzard?
No, I haven't.
When he's talking about what you want to be when you're older, and he's like, why would you want to be a beekeeper?
Well, have you seen that Jason Statham movie, The Beekeeper?
No, I haven't actually. I think my parents watched it.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's Jason Statham. It's going to be shit.
So, I don't know if you know the podcast, How Did That Get Made?
No.
So it's a really famous podcast, How Did That Get Made? They did a live recording in London.
Oh, I think you told me
And my
about
friend
this.
Heidi, she
Yes,
got
you did
tickets
tell
for
me about
it.
this, yeah.
And she was like, do you want to go see it? Because I don't listen
yeah.
to the podcast. I don't listen to that one. And I was like, yeah, I'll go. And literally the day of the recording, Heidi was too unwell to go. So I traipsed up to London on my own, watched the recording of a podcast. And I didn't even know who was the host of this podcast. And you had like Jason Mantzoukas, like the comedy actor, and other people that are famous. And yeah, they were doing The Beekeeper. And I didn't know what movie they were doing.
Oh, okay.
Either. So I'd have liked to have watched it before.
Yeah, and then you can understand.
And I could understand.
About,
But I watched it afterwards and it was like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand why.
It's terrible.
It's really bad, yeah. It's really bad. The beekeeper protects the hive. All right, Jason.
So is he some kind of like secret agent but also a beekeeper?
Yes, yeah. So there's a secret agency called the Beekeepers who
Okay.
protect the hive. I don't know if the hive is just America or the hive is the world and they're a worldwide agency or what. But there was a point in the film where he takes someone to a bridge, ties them to a car and sends the car flying off this bridge. Guess what bridge it was? Sheppey Bridge, just down the road from me.
Really?
Yeah. The Sheppey Bridge. I was looking at it like,
Whenever
that's like 10 minutes from my
Whenever you
house.
see things on TV that you think that's filmed locally, you're like, why do I never walk past when they're filming something?
Do you know what I'm really annoyed about? I'm annoyed that Jason Statham didn't go, oi, Dave, mate. I was like, yeah, what's up, Jason? I'm filming a film. Daniel Nick in the Woods. Oh, really, Jason? Well, you know how we've, like, done an episode on Crank and, we're writing Crank 3?
Are we?
Yeah, that's right. We're filming. Come on, Dan. Take some footage. It'll be good for the podcast. Didn't do that.
No.
So, me and Jason, officially, I'm done with him.
He's dead to you now.
He's dead to me. Absolutely dead to me. But talking about films...
Which we should be doing.
Which we should be.
We're not.
And like coming across people filming things.
Yeah.
When I was in Prague for the very first time for work,
Yeah.
I was there over a weekend. I took a walk up to across the very famous Charles Bridge up to the Prague Castle.
Yeah.
And on my way back to the hotel, well, to get something to eat, blah blah blah, whatever it was, I decided to cross over another bridge, but it was blocked off. And on this bridge, there was a Russian T-54 tank on there, and loads of cameras and loads of extras in like 60s outfits, and they were filming a movie right there.
Oh, okay.
It was brilliant watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go.
So you have stumbled across it.
I have stumbled
I bet
across,
you have.
but Jason Statham wasn't there.
No.
You know what I did?
He was inside the tank.
I called him up. I went, "Hey, Jason, they're filming." No, that's his accent.
That's his
Here,
accent,
Jason, they're filming a film. You better get over here. They might need some Cockney mobster. All right, Dave, I'm on my way. Anyway, Catwoman on the Moon.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's wearing a beekeeper's outfit. We got back.
Yes, he is, yeah.
So he goes in to check the engines because it's all smoky, and
It's all steam and smoke and
they lift up this hatch to let him in.
Yeah.
And when they're lifting this hatch, all the smoke's coming out. But they do really great acting, like, this hatch is really heavy.
Yeah.
And they lift it up and the smoke's coming up and they're like, this is really acrid smoke. That was top notch. I really enjoyed that bit. So, and where am I in this synopsis? Right. So he goes and checks the engines and he finds a leak and begins repairs. And he's almost at the end of his strength, but the situation is finally under control. And the crew are watching this, like, danger. this symbol. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, so in the control them, this warning light blinks and tells them that they're no longer in danger.
Yep.
And Kit climbs his way out of the engine room, and he
Yeah.
looks so shattered and tired. He has a little lie down, and so on. And the ship is saved. Now, Granger queries Helen about her time on the radio, and he wants to know who she was talking to when she said on the radio, Alpha, we are on the way. Now, Helen is really vague in her response and acts as if she recalls absolutely nothing about this. So keep that in mind. Helen is looking at and acting a little bit dodgy here.
Yeah.
Very dodgy. Now, Laird decides not to press the issue because Helen and Laird are a couple. And asks her to begin preparing landing site locations. But she's already chosen a site. And it's a valley located on the dark side of the moon.
The dark side.
Oh, I know.
No one's ever been there.
No one's ever been there. Apart from some Transformers, apparently.
Yeah.
And Pink Floyd. They've
yeah.
been there. That's it. Granger's surprised by the choice because it doesn't fit the mission profile, but Helen is absolutely insistent. And she admits that she can't explain why, but she does know it's the perfect spot. Helen does also say something like she feels like this has happened before.
Yeah.
Like some sort of deja vu thing. And that doesn't ever get explained.
Come back. No, they don't put that again, do they?
But the actress playing Helen was interviewed many years later, and she said they were filming for about 2 weeks and then production just stopped. And, like, so much of the film wasn't even recorded, so they missed a lot of the story
you
out.
You said that as we were watching it, and then there is a very abrupt ending to it, isn't there? So you can see how they just was like, yep, stop there.
Stop.
It was very kind of, okay, oh, is that it?
Yeah. Oh, that's the end.
That's it,
and there's also, the resolution to a major issue is given by a voiceover off screen. Not a voiceover, but somebody talking to a character from off screen.
Yeah, it's literally like, we need to wrap this up now, guys.
Yeah.
Just say something that sounds final.
You know when if you ever did like a GCSE like drama, and you had to do like a little scene or something, and then you're like, oh god, we need to finish this. Yeah. All right, everyone, 2 minutes left, and then we'll see your show. Oh god, we need to finish this. And then everyone died. The end.
Or like when you have to write a story at school and you don't know how to end it, so it's like, and it was all a dream.
She walked out of the shower and her husband was still in bed. It was all a dream.
Yeah.
The ship lands without incident, and after discussing their options, the crew all they suit up and they head out onto the surface. Now Helen goes first. Laird Granger goes first to inspect the ship and check if any repairs need to be done. And even though they've been hit by a meteor at this stage, he reports that all is well, and then the rest of the crew begin to join him on the surface. Do you want to talk later how they join him on the surface?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah. Helen then suggests that they head towards a cave she saw in a crater as they were landing. Now, as they begin to head to the cave, another meteor passes low over them before impacting on the crater wall. Again, how unlucky are they that their ship in the middle of the space gets hit by a meteor, and then two, as they're walking from the ship, there's another meteor that just literally grazes over their heads. This is space. It's vast. Yeah. It's enormous.
And this rocket is tiny.
Yeah. It is.
Well, I know we're looking at it but I do think it feels tiny from the interior shots as well, doesn't it? It doesn't feel like a big spaceship.
No, it doesn't.
We see the room they they sit in and control it from.
Yeah.
And
Directly below that is the engine room.
And it does it like, if you ask a kid to, from the outside, if you ask a kid to draw a rocket, or the kids' plastic toys you get of rockets,
Yeah.
it very much looks like that. It doesn't look like, when you watch something like, is it Passengers, the one with Chris Pratt and...
Yes.
That's a huge, great big spacecraft, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's like lots of different rooms and stuff.
And
It's
not your standard sort of rocket.
It's like a Peppa Pig rocket. Like,
the classic fins at the bottom and the rather phallic symbol. It is exactly.
Yeah, pointy top. It's like that. So it's not a very big spaceship at all.
No, it's not. It's really not. Which makes you question why they need what they need to get out of it, really.
Yeah.
The meteorologist misses them as well. So continuing, they come to the Lunar Terminator. Oh, the Lunar Terminator. So that's the line.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. In space.
Yes, exactly that. Arnold Schwarzenegger is in space, and they come. No, the Lunar Terminator is the line from which splits from the light side of the moon to the dark side of the moon.
Oh, yes.
It's in this film. I don't know what it's like on the moon, whether it is just like a flat line. I've never been.
Oh.
Maybe next year. I'm saving up next year.
Well, we've got to get the mics first.
Oh, yeah, we've got to get the
then
mics
the
first.
trip to the moon.
Oh, God.
It's never ending.
The costs never stop. You really need to sign up for this Patreon, I'm telling you now.
Because we've got a trip to the moon to fund.
But, I mean, I don't know what it's like. Once I'm there, I'll take a photo. But it's like it was like a straight split down. So one side is the dark side, one side is the light side, and they're standing on the dark side. And Granger said something about how it's the temperature is so low on the dark side of the moon. So their suits are to keep them warm, and they've got really heavy boots on because of the gravity as well. Because they're just walking around like it's normal.
Yeah.
Heavy boots means that the rest of you's fine. My arms aren't going, woo. I know the moon has a little bit of gravity. It does have a tiny bit of gravity.
Yeah.
Not nowhere near as much as Earth. But, yeah, these boots are really heavy. So they're just walking around. Yeah, they're just walking.
If there was no gravity at all, would
Yeah.
it matter how heavy your outfit was, or would you just not stay down anyway?
Yeah.
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 So there is a bit of gravity, so the heavy boots are helping.
Yeah. So they get to this Lunar Terminator, and I didn't know that's what it was called.
No.
And I don't know if maybe the person that's written the synopsis doesn't just made up the name for it, but maybe that is the actual name. They highlight the danger. We could do. Are you looking it up now?
I'm going to look it up.
You look it up while I come over this. So, Laird wants to highlight the danger of the difference between the dark side and the light side, and asks Helen for one of her lucky cigarettes that she always carries. Now, she just pulls these cigarettes out in space.
Yeah, it's called the Moon's Terminator.
It is called the Lunar Terminator.
Well, it's called the Moon's Terminator.
Oh, the Moon Terminator.
If you look up Lunar Terminator, it comes up as Terminator, brackets solar.
Dun, 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 dun,
but
dun.
it's also the Moon's Terminator. And it's basically the line between the light and the dark.
Got you.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but...
No, that's okay.
It is a thing, yes.
Every day is a school day, isn't it? Oh,
now
God.
when we go to the moon, we'll know what we're looking at.
Every day. I won't feel like a complete idiot. Oh, there's the Sea of Tranquility. There's the Moon Terminator.
There's the Cave of Gold.
There's the giant spiders.
We haven't got to the giant spiders.
We haven't got to the giant spiders yet. No. Spoilers. So they're obviously standing in the dark side. Laird Granger takes one of Helen's cigarettes and throws it into the direct sunlight. And when it lands on the ground, literally within seconds, it busts into flames. And he's like, see? That's because it's the direct sunlight. Okay. Now, they head closer to the cave, and Kit points out to Granger that there was no way that Helen could have seen that cave during the landing, as she claimed, when suggesting that they head towards the cave. So Kit is throwing in a bit like, we really should be wary of Granger and Helen and what she's saying here, because something's not quite right. But Granger dismisses the observation and orders the crew to continue on into this cave that Helen's found. Now, Helen studies the walls of the cave for a few minutes, then mentions it looks exactly as it did in a dream. And from this point, she takes the lead and begins threading her way through the various passages. Now, the crew discovers that gravity is stronger in the cave because Helen says something like, you miscalculated this thing with the boots because they feel really heavy. And that makes them realise, wait a second, there's gravity in here. That's new, gravity, more Earth-like gravity
more
on the moon.
Yeah.
And from this point, so obviously the crew discovers that gravity is stronger in the cave, and there's also the existence of stalactites hanging from the ceiling that suggests moisture as well. And for that to be true, there must also be an atmosphere. And so they just take off their masks and their suits to make exploration easier.
That's their test for if there's oxygen.
Yeah.
So you're either, that experiment is going to either be, yes, fine, there's oxygen, or dead.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a risky strategy.
Well, I mean, what I'll do is I'll just take the mask off real quick. No, there isn't. Boom. No, they don't even do that.
No, it literally just takes off. Oh, yes, fine.
Straight off. Not a problem.
So casual about it.
The scientific measures they go to in this film is quite amazing. It really is. Now, Helen continues to lead. Kip is becoming increasingly suspicious and insists on carrying his gun. Now, they've only travelled a short distance when they're attacked by a spider the size of, what would you say?
A lion.
It's pretty big, isn't it? It's pretty big. But as the spider comes down, they instantly start at all of them. All the men just go at it. One of them pulls a knife and starts stabbing it.
Yeah, he gets a knife out and stabs this giant spider.
And so I love this. They beat the creature off.
Probably the wrong choice of words there.
Probably very much the wrong choice of words. And then Kip kills it with his gun. Now, disorientated during this, Helen stumbles off, but then she encounters a second spider that drops on her. What are the chances?
But I always say if you kill a spider, the other spiders come.
Two more will rise in its place. That's the Hydra.
No, don't. What's the saying about spiders? They if you kill a spider, you'll get more spiders.
If you kill it, they will come.
Yeah.
That's Field of Dreams. No, you never kill a spider.
Think about spiders.
You never kill a
I
spider.
always kill spiders. I hate them.
But you don't kill a spider.
Especially if it was that big.
One of your best friends is a Scotsman, and we don't kill spiders. And I'm saying to you, don't kill spiders.
If you throw a spider out, it's going to die anyway out there.
Yeah.
So either way, you're killing a spider. So you might
I don't throw them out. My room is full of spiders at the moment.
Oh no, I can
So many of them.
I won't let sleep.
No? Oh. I carry them round with me.
One time years ago, my duvet was slightly pulled across, and I woke up to a spider scurrying out from under the duvet down, and I just thought, that's been in bed with me. And don't you swallow like so many spiders?
Not the worst choice.
Well, yeah. Fair enough. I've been in bed with worse.
He was a bit handsy.
One of my favourite little memes that I've ever shared is the spot the difference. So did you see it when I shared it? There's a spot the difference. It's spot the 8 differences, and there's a picture of a spider. There's a picture with a spider in it.
Yeah.
And it's obviously got all of its 8 legs, and then the next picture it's just a dot with no legs.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I shared it on Facebook a little while ago.
Or maybe I have seen it because I've probably laughed at it, but I can't remember it. I can't remember it, but that's a good one. There we go. I've laughed the second time if I have. So the kind of Helen gets attacked by the second spider. This one just drops on her. But even though the spider's on top of Helen, Kip just comes along and just shoots it while it's on top of her. You know, no regard.
She passes out, doesn't she? Does she pass out with the second one?
I think she passes
I
out.
thought she was dead, but she's passed out. And they kind of go, Helen, bring her too, and she's fine.
That's right. Yes, yeah. Yes, that is right. I do remember that. Do I remember that?
Yeah, I'm sure. Because I thought, is she dead? Has the spider killed her? But no, she was just passed out.
Yeah, she was definitely passed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, there were so many times Helen was in these caves. It's confused me. But yes. So Granger and Kip decide to go back and retrieve the suits while Doug and Walt explore the chamber they are now in, leaving Helen to rest. Now, as she sleeps, a strange female figure approaches and touches her palm, leaving a strange mark. Helen screams as the figure rushes away.
About? It's like a circle on her hand, a circle of light.
No idea. The circle of light. Maybe. But yeah, I don't understand the circle.
The circle appears a couple of times.
It
she
does.
kind of looks at her hand later on and she's like, oh, the circle's there again, but what does it mean?
And one of the
Does it mean they're
Catwomen.
controlling her?
Well, one of the Catwomen says later, she holds up her hand, Helen's hand, and says, "You're one of us now." Oh. So is that them, like, marking her to say she's one of theirs? But I really don't know. It's very odd, very odd. Now, Granger and Kip return and report that the suits are missing, and this forces the team to continue under the direction of Helen. And she's like, well, we can't go back to the ship, so the only thing we can do is carry on. Now, the passage they're following opens up to a huge cavern. And it's so huge that it looks like it's nighttime outside and that there's clouds in the sky.
Yeah.
When they walked into this cavern, I thought, they're outside on the moon now, because that's night. That's the sky at night. That's stars out there. It was very odd.
Yeah, no.
But they described it in the film as a massive cavern. Yeah. So, fair. I'll let them, if that's how they want to describe it,
allow it.
It's just not what it looked like. Absolutely not what it looked like. And it's got a small walled city in the centre. Now, they enter and explore the city with all the evidence around them, suggesting it's been abandoned for a very long time. It did make me laugh, actually. When it was abandoned for a very long time, they do that. They realise that because there's like these fire braziers that Laird puts his hand in and goes, it's stone cold. I don't think there's been a fire in here for a long time, maybe even hundreds of years.
How would you possibly tell that?
Does it get colder the longer there's no fire? I mean...
And how would you have any frame of reference for how long there's not been a fire?
I know, it just doesn't make sense.
Let's just let me go to some cold ground and going, there's not been a fire here for a while. How would you possibly know?
I know.
Hundreds of years.
Do you know what? That park over there, I don't think there's been a house on there for at least 1 million years.
You're telling me.
I mean, do you see a house out there?
No.
No. So I must be right. That's
science for you.
That is science for you. They do tend to just throw out some random theories there. So it's been abandoned. The city's been abandoned for a very long time, so they believe. Kip is convinced that Helen knows a lot more than she's admitting, especially about the suits and how they've gone missing. But Granger, because he's in a relationship with Helen, intercedes and has an angry standoff with Kip, who does eventually back down. Now, Doug and Helen begin exploring another section of the city, and Doug is in the lead, and Helen stands back and allows a woman to attack him from a hidden position. Now, the noise of the fight attracts the others, but the unknown woman runs off before the party arrives. As the men regroup, they realise that Helen is now missing and spread out to search for her. More hidden women attack and try to take the men down individually. All the crew fight off the attack, and the mysterious women scatter, except the one who attacked Doug. He has pinned her down. Now, as the crew get a better look at her, she disappears into thin air.
I want to talk about that disappearance.
Leaving everyone stunned as to what just happened. Cut.
Yeah, literally.
So Helen finds her way into a secret passage and encounters the leader of the women. She introduces herself as Alpha, and she also introduces Beta and Lambda. Helen's confused and unsure of herself until Alpha tells Helen she's now one of them. Oh, she holds up the palm. This is that point when that happens. Alpha goes on to describe how she's been sending mental messages across space and coaching Helen with all the knowledge she needed to become the navigator selected for the mission. So that's why... So they do explain why Helen kind of is having deja vu about things. She's had mental images projected.
And they also explain, because I was like, they're talking English. You're telling me there's cat women that live on the moon and they're just talking English. They do explain that they can talk in any tongue.
Yes.
To suit whoever's there.
They've trained their minds to understand any language. Yeah. And they are for ease of...
I don't know how.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
maybe they've got Duolingo on the moon. They've been alive for
Signal
millions
be like
of
on the moon?
years.
What would the signal be? Internet signal be like on the moon? Not great, probably.
I don't know.
I don't get it 2 stories up here, let alone on the moon.
Well, I mean, there's 0G on the moon as well, so... Come on. Don't shake your head at that. That was amazing. Alpha then tells her the history of their existence of the moon. A decision was made eons ago to reduce the population as air and other resources began to run out. So what Helen sees now is the final generation trapped in the caverns. Their only hope was a spaceship arriving from Earth. Now, Alpha plans to learn how to fly the ship, then dispose of the crew with the exception of Helen, and will take 3 of the moon women back to Earth. Now, there are 5 spacesuits, okay? 1 Helen.
Yeah.
Why are they only taking 3 Catwomen? They could take 4 Catwomen.
Because they're stupid.
Yeah, they're not really that far forward thinking, are they? Now, the moon women accompany Helen back to the main party, and Helen then introduces them to the crew, and food and drinks are served. Now, Kip absolutely refuses to engage, and remains apart from everyone, eating his own rations.
Yeah.
But during the dinner, Doug asks Lambda why there are no men, and she explains that they all died off when she was a child, and Doug is the first man she's ever seen.
By the way, what does she compare it to? Oh, watermelon.
Watermelon, yes,
she
it tastes like...
in something really crunchy.
Yeah.
And then says, "Oh, it's like watermelon." I'm like, "What the hell is that? What did they serve them?"
I know. It was like...
Because watermelon's not crunchy.
No, I know watermelon can have a kind of a crunch to it when it's really fresh, but this was a crunchy like a biscuit.
Like biscuit. Or
not like a watermelon crunch. No. It's a soft crunch, but it's you don't want
quite firm, but it's soft.
Yeah. It's not a crunch.
No, it's not a crunch, is it? It's like a...
It's the same... It's not the same way like an apple's got a crunch.
No.
But it has a kind of a hard texture that crumbles really quickly.
Yeah.
Not a hard texture. I don't mean a hard texture.
Firm, but it's obviously water.
Yeah.
Melon, so it's... I don't know.
It's a weird... Yeah.
But this is like...
this is a crunch biscuit sort of thing, isn't it? Which is very different to a watermelon crunch. Oh, what? You know what we mean.
What we're talking about.
Have a fresh watermelon and you'll understand, okay? I got one of my own. Sorry, that's one of my old favourite vines.
Oh, okay.
Doug is the first man that Lambda has ever seen. And at another table, Granger is questioned by Alpha as to the workings of the ship. Now, he explains that he can't tell them anything because he's under orders not to reveal such information. It does make me laugh. Alpha's like, we'll learn how to fly the ship off the men. We'll be really sneaky. And the next scene, she's like, so how does the navigation system work exactly?
Hardly sneaky. I think she needs to go back to school to learn what the word sneaky is.
Yeah. Maybe start a little bit more surreptitious than that, Alpha. Now, Walt is charmed by Beta, who fills his head of stories about caverns filled with gold. And in fact, there's so much of it, no one bothers to actually mine it because it's just so common on the moon. Did you hear that, everyone? Gold is really common on the moon, so...
If you want gold...
Get to the moon.
Get to the moon.
I know.
It costs you more than the gold's worth, but...
Yeah. Now, she promises to let Walt have all the gold if he agrees to take her back to Earth with him. So, Beta's really charming Walt. Now, at the same time, Doug is really falling heavily for Lambda, and he does not realise she can read his mind and is drawing information from him to build rapport, to look as though she genuinely likes him. Because that's how mind control works. Mind reading. Just like that film, What Women Want, with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be a womanizer, but wait a second, no, I'm going to learn how not to womanize women by reading their thoughts and then just doing what they think.
Yeah.
That's still manipulation.
I think so, yeah.
Mel. That's still not a cool thing to do. But it's fine, because you solve your problems with your daughter and you're a happy man at the end.
Yeah.
Just don't give him a drink. Anyway, where did I get with that? Oh yeah, so Alpha calls the women together and they leave for the night. The crew begins to discuss what's happening, and when they realise that Walt is missing, Helen mentions that he went somewhere with Beta, and Granger argues again with Kip, who's convinced that the situation is not as it seems. Kip again challenges Helen, and at first she resists and then goes through a mental convulsion which seems to release her true self. She warns Kip of the Moon Women's plans and their intentions to harm the rest of the crew and only take her back to Earth. Now, as this moment of clarity strengthens, she admits that she likes Kip more than Laird. However, the Moon Women are forcing her to show interest in Laird because he knows more about the ship. That's why. That's why. So, at that point, they share a kiss.
Yes.
And we were thinking, I thought, oh, is she trying to seduce Kip to soften his hatred of the Catwomen? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't give me that look when I say
if
that
you're
word.
kissing someone and it's softening, it's not.
It's
It's
not.
not the right way around.
For God's sake. This is a family podcast.
Is it though?
No, it's not.
We do swear quite a lot.
We do swear quite a lot. And
Sex
I
scenes
do
as well.
take the explicit to say there's explicit
Yeah.
language. So, but I think sometimes you can just go too far,
It's
Emma.
a family podcast if you've got all grown-up children, that's fine.
Yeah.
Over 18, so.
Unless you sign up to the Patreon where you can hear bad movies for kids, which is
Yeah,
completely
the kids
universal.
ones are absolutely
Completely
fine,
universal.
because they are
Because there is a kid,
There's a kid doing
involved,
it, so,
and not me. I'm not the big child in that. Although I think sometimes my maturity levels are probably less than Brody's,
Maybe, yeah.
to be fair. So yeah, they share a little bit of a kiss, but she's like, I'll tell Laird because it's down to me to tell him this. So anyway, Kip finds Laird and apologises for his earlier behaviour without revealing any of the conversation he's had with Helen. Now, meanwhile, Walt has taken Beta back to the ship and is explaining the various functions, and Beta then reaffirms her promise about the gold because of this.
Yeah.
Now, during the night, the women begin a dance. Doug, I know it's not really a dance at all, is it?
I don't know what the dance is. It's just them putting their hands like sort of cupping their face a lot.
Yeah.
And then their arms might go up in the air.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is just imagine cupping of, not touching their faces,
Yeah.
but cupping in front of their faces.
It's pretty bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the one in the middle puts their arm out.
Oh yeah, sorry. The one in the middle is putting her arms out, and the
then-
other ones are just cupping their faces.
Yeah,
This is
sometimes
weird.
they'll come into the centre,
Yeah.
but not in a dancey way. They'll just kind of walk
They're
into
not-
the centre.
It's not actually dancing, is it? It's just a couple of movements. It's not like.
And I did
fast,
ask you at the
it's-
time, who dances better, the Balarian women from Space Mutiny or the Catwomen of the Moon? And it's the Balarian women, isn't it?
Catwomen have got no rhythm.
They don't have any rhythm at all. It's shockingly bad. We must speak to their manager.
Their choreographer.
Yeah, Alpha. God damn it, get it right. Beta in turns reaffirms her promise about the gold to Walt. Going to take him to the cave full of gold. So during the women have a dance. Doug's walking by the music and he goes to watch. Kip spots Doug and sees his growing interest in Lambda. And after a few minutes, I was going to say Kip and Doug go off together. No, Doug and Lambda. That'd be very subversive for a 1953 movie, wouldn't it?
That wouldn't happen.
Doug and Lambda go off together. Kip reports back to Helen, who warns him that Lambda is one of the most dangerous ones. So that sets up a little bit of what could be going on there. Now, in the caves that Beta's told Walt about, he's shown the gold. He's absolutely overjoyed and begins to celebrate. But then Beta kills him with a knife to the shoulder.
I want to talk about this.
Yeah, I won't say any more. Beta kills him. Now, elsewhere, Lambda breaks down and tells Doug that she actually does love him and is no longer acting. She then explains the plan to steal the ship. She makes him promise that if they escape, she wants him to return and rescue the remaining women. Now, Lambda then approaches Alpha with a recommendation one of the men be allowed to return with them as a sign of good faith. Now, Alpha rejects his suggestion, angry at the thought of losing Doug. Lambda threatens to unravel their entire plan. Alpha and Beta ignore Lambda's ultimatum but decide to accelerate their plans and go off to execute the men. Doug finds Kip and tells him Lambda's story. Kip confronts Laird and Helen and argues Helen is leading the attack. Kip grabs Helen's hand and covers the device in her palm being used by the Moon Women to control her. So I'm wondering if that little circle in her palm isn't a mark, it's actually a device in her hand? Is that what it means?
Didn't look like a device.
It didn't, did it?
A circle of light.
Yeah. So now, Helen admits her role in the whole plot. She actually loves Kip and not Laird. This causes the two men to get into a fight. Lambda arrives, sounds the alarm that the women are stealing the ship.
Yeah.
Unknown to Alpha and Beta, Lambda has hidden 2 suits for the men. Now, Lambda then tries to stop the women and slow them down because they've got so much of a head start on our heroes from Earth. So she appears in front of them and tries to stop them leaving. But Lambda is killed by Alpha by a rock to the head. And in turn, Kip and Laird catch up with Alpha and Beta. Well, Walt, first of all, was cradling Lambda. Kip and Laird catch up with Alpha and Beta, who have Helen with them. A gunfight ensues, and the 2 Moon Women are killed, but Helen avoids injury. The crew then get back to the ship, report the situation for Earth, and lift off for home. And that's it. It ends so abruptly.
Oh, it literally...
Abruptly.
You're watching a scene, and then it just goes... The end, and the rocket ship's going up.
Yeah.
Between the words, the end.
Mm-hmm. And not at no point is anyone like, Helen, we're actually gonna have you arrested for treason because you were trying to kill everyone on the mission. Yeah. I know you were kind of being mind controlled, but also, how do you prove mind control?
Yeah.
I
don't think that would stand up in court, would it?
It doesn't. I don't think it would stand up in court.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, honest governor, it wasn't me. As the judge is donning the black hood. So, yeah, it instantly finishes. Now, I don't know if you want to cover this, but how they tell people that the cat women are dead.
No, I didn't want to cover it.
So, Doug is cradling Lambda's dead body, and he's looking really sad over Lambda because she loved him, he loved her. It's been 3 hours.
Yeah. This is just like I don't know if you've ever watched Love Is Blind. It's a real trashy.
Oh.
It's great watch.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Married at First Sight.
Oh, Married at First Sight as well, but
yeah.
Love Is Blind is basically they go into these pods. And
okay.
They talk. They can hear each other. They talk to each other, but they can't see each other.
Right.
And they literally have a series of dates. They date everyone, and then they find the people they actually get on with well, and then they can have more dates with those people they get on with well with. It's a matter of hours. They might have 5 hours in total over the few days they're there. Maybe 5 hours in total in these pods talking to each other. And bearing in mind, they're just talking to each other. They're not in the same room. They're not seeing each other. They're not going out on dates. They're literally talking to somebody that they've never seen. In a pod.
Okay.
And yeah, maybe they've got 5 hours. Maybe it's a bit longer than that, I don't know. But over about 2 or 3 days, they have several dates. And then they have to decide the guys have to decide if they want to propose to somebody. And the American one's worse. They've done a UK version recently, but the American one's
propose?
Worse. Yes. And the American one, literally, you've spoken to this person for a matter of hours, and they're all going, I've never felt this way about anyone. I'm absolutely in love with you. And you're like, you haven't even met. How are you in love with somebody? They get totally carried away. Bearing in mind, they've not even seen each other, so I don't even know if they fancy each other.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, it's really funny when they do see each other, because if they propose, they then get to meet.
Right, okay.
And the reveals are hilarious, because some of them, and they're not allowed to describe anything physical.
Okay.
Apart from, they're not supposed to describe anything physical, so height, weight, anything. But in the American one, there was a woman that said she has a lot. People say to her a lot that she reminds them of Megan Fox. Okay.
Okay.
She did say, to be fair, because she got a lot of stick about this. She did say, I can't see it myself. I think it's just the eyes and the dark hair.
And she got weird thumbs.
She looked nothing like her.
Right. Fair.
She literally, maybe the eyes, but she looked nothing like her. So this guy has just heard Megan Fox. Didn't listen to the rest of it. Didn't listen to her say, I don't think I look like her. And actually, I think it's just my eyes and my hair, right? He's just heard Megan Fox. So he's picked her.
Is this the guy that's like, I've not met you, but I've never met anyone like you before in my life. I think I love you.
yes, this is what they're like. And then they meet, and you're instantly like, and she wasn't a tiny girl either. She wasn't massive, but she was like a plus size.
Yeah.
Mid size, I'd say actually, not plus size.
Okay.
So she's not huge, but she's like, he's expecting Megan Fox. He's in his head. He's just got Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She doesn't look like Megan Fox. She's not slim like Megan Fox. She comes out, and you can instantly see him go. I mean, don't get me wrong. He was not great looking either.
And I do find that amazing, though, isn't it? That
he was like, because people online were giving him a really hard time. They were like, he's like disappointed what she looks like. He looks like a thumb. Like, he wasn't great looking either. But
he looks like a thumb.
Yeah, you've got to see. I'll show you.
All I can picture now are those the minions from Spy Kids, the thumb people.
Yeah, a bit. I'll show you them after this.
Okay.
So it's written over his face, and then he even when they sit down to like have a chat for the first time face to face, he even was like, "Oh, you kind of said you look like Megan Fox." The disappointment in his voice. I just find it hilarious. It's car crash TV, but it's so funny. But I just can't get my head around. They get totally carried away with it, and I'm like, you've literally spoken. Like, don't get me wrong. I think you can tell quite quickly with somebody if you're dating them.
Yeah.
Because you're spending actual time together, and you're physically there with each other. So you can have some great dates and think, oh, I really like this person. I mean, I don't think I'll be saying I love you after like a couple of dates, but it's. You know, if you're spending time with someone, you get more of a feel for who they are and how they are, and you go out on dates and do fun stuff, and you're like, do we get on with each other? But sitting and talking in a room, no. You can't even get that physical connection. You can't be like, well, I really fancy you as well as getting on with you.
Yeah.
And love isn't blind because you have to be attracted to the person.
Yeah, I think no matter what anyone says, there's always,
there has to be a physical attraction as well.
There does.
So it's just hilarious, but yeah, it's that thing of people saying they love someone after like 3 hours. No. You don't love somebody after 3 hours.
No. You're saying that because you're on a TV show.
Yeah.
And it's
like 3 hours. You could find out so much more stuff about that person that you think, no, that's not for me.
I can guarantee you that the producers are literally saying, ramping them up. If you feel anything, it's got to be love. You must love them. You got to really go for it. And I can guarantee you as well, they know that if they are profusing love, they're going to have. Because I'm guessing it's not just one couple per episode, is it? Is it a couple
of? It's quite a few of them, and then only so many make it through to the other episodes because they've got engaged. They've got quite a few to start with, but not all of them pair up.
So there's the impetus to get to really push for moving on in the competition. Then is it? Well, I don't think a competition. Is it a competition? If people get married, do they win anything?
No, it's not a competition.
Okay.
It is just like an experiment, I guess. But
other than just being known.
I watched the UK one and they've got a couple of people. So that was a year ago they filmed it. And there's one couple. Is there
any
one
relationships still
One's
continue?
Still going strong.
Oh, okay.
But that might be more luck. I mean, you could meet somebody that is your person on there.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, is it? But
sorry, are you saying that directly to me?
No.
You could meet someone for you on there.
Oh, they are doing something serious.
Oh, interesting.
But no, it's just the way they just get so carried away. Like, I love you after a matter of hours. You're like, no, you don't.
No,
you don't know anything about each other. You don't know anything about each other's families and friends. You haven't met anyone. Like, I just think you've got to kind of.
You don't know how they voted in the last election.
Yeah, you just don't know.
Did they vote reform? Oh, see you later.
You just don't know enough about somebody. Like, I'm sorry.
No, you don't.
But
no.
Yeah, so this is what this was like in.
It was.
It's like literally they've been there for hours. And they're like, I love you, and it's like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. You like her because she's an attractive young woman in a leotard.
Yeah.
Doug, get over yourself. But yeah, so Doug is cradling the dead lambda in his arms. Kip and Laird chase after Helen, Beta, and Alpha, and then off screen you hear bang, 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 and then I can't even tell whose voice it is saying, "Doug, the cat women are dead. Helen is fine though."
Yeah.
And that's the end, and then they're back on the ship, and minus Walt, of course, who's dead. I don't know if they've brought his body back or left him in some cave. Well, who would tell them what cave he's in? They wouldn't know where he is.
No.
Because everyone that could have told him is dead.
I wonder how many dead bodies there are up on the dark side of the moon. It's like Mount Everest.
Yeah.
There's loads of people that just get left there.
I mean, famously, people go, like, I'm going to go next year to to the
To
moon.
the moon, yeah.
And yeah, I'll count how many bodies I see.
Will you make it back?
I think
Catwoman have gone now, so
I think there's a good chance.
there's no Catwomen left, so you're fine for that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh damn!
Unless there's any dogmen or anything like that.
I'd prefer Catwomen, to be fair.
Well, yeah, but
You
they're
know.
gone.
I get my own little lambda.
There might be some Valerians up there, maybe.
Oh, now you're talking, because they can really
can
move. They can dance. They can dance if they want to. Oh, I'm really breaking out the songs tonight. But yeah, that is how the big issue is fixed.
Yeah.
And I think that this really does point out how so much of the film wasn't filmed, and they just got what they got in 2 weeks, and that was it. And the movie was an hour and 5 minutes, including credits.
Short, yeah.
Brilliant.
Which we're always happy about.
Absolutely fantastic. Now, thinking about our categories, though, Emma, we need to. Where are my notes? We need to have a little chat about our categories. So we've got location, we've got music, we've got special effects, we've got actress and casting. So, where do you want to start?
Start a location?
Yeah, absolutely. Bearing in mind, we're looking at the bad to start with.
We are looking at the bad. So the actual spaceship.
Go on, yeah.
So
Are you talking about the exterior or interior?
Interior.
Yep.
We'll talk about the exterior in special effects.
Oh, yes, of course.
So the interior of the spaceship, obviously, like I said earlier, it's black and white, so we can't tell. But I mean, it was very basic. I know it's the 50s. It was very basic. So you had a window that they just had put some like sparkly card behind with like there's meant to be like stars and
it looked like the front of a television. You know,
Yeah.
the old 50s
Yeah,
sort of
it did.
televisions that did that.
and then you had a few controls that again looked like Blue Peter kind of.
Yeah, bottle tops.
Let's make this a model of a spaceship. And then those weird, sun lounger bed things that they were on.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, again, it's the 50s. How great is the set going to be? But
Bearing in,
And it was tiny.
absolutely, I agree with you. I've got the rocket, the interior of the ship down as my bad location as well. Absolutely, for all the same reasons. And I do then think to myself, well, okay, fine. In 1953, there wasn't any space travel anyway.
No, so they would have no
So
idea.
they'd have no idea what they would need for going up into space and to the moon. That's fine. But when one of the people who works in the ship, Helen, is sitting at her office desk on the ship, you have to kind of think, come on now.
Is there like a filing cabinet and stuff, or is it just
I don't know if there's a filing cabinet, but there's
It's-
definitely drawers and
Yeah,
that
it's an
on
office desk,
the
yeah.
desk as well. And you're like, come on now.
Yeah.
You're in a rocket flying to space. Even if that desk is bolted to the ground, it's not. You're not going to have a desk.
No.
I mean, you might have a desk in the side of the ship or whatever as part of the.
Part of it, built in.
Built
Not
in.
just a loose,
Not a standalone desk.
No,
I mean, honestly,
it was poor.
with chairs that pull up to it as well.
Yeah.
It's like.
Don't think they're quite getting the point here.
It's
are
really not making any sense, is it?
No.
But yeah, definitely the interior is bad. Although I did ask you the question when Kit went down into the engine room to fix the issue that they had.
Yes.
I did ask you, what did you think was better, the engine room in Rocket 4 or the engine room in the Southern Sun from Space Mutiny?
Well, in Space Mutiny, they had about 5 engine rooms, didn't they? And they had like
Yeah.
gas cylinders and walkways, and they were massive. This was just literally like a tiny little room. And we couldn't see a lot of it because there's a lot of steam.
It's for the smoke with
Yeah.
steam, wasn't it?
Smoke or steam, whatever it was. That wasn't great either. I
But
also thought the dark side of the moon, where they were in the cave, but there were clouds.
yes, that was
What
very
all about?
strange.
So, like,
What was
you're
going on?
outside. Also, there wouldn't be clouds, would there?
No. I mean, I know there's
There'd
moisture.
be a starry sky, not
But
clouds.
a cavern, I don't know, could you have a cavern so large that it then is like outdoors? Do you know what I
I
mean?
don't know.
Could you have a cavern that big that it's got its own internal atmosphere
if
and
it-
its own clouds?
But would it have clouds?
Because you would
Really?
need sunlight to cause precipitation, evaporation and precipitation to form clouds, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's going back to GCSE geography there.
Isn't it? You're going to
Wow.
talk about photosynthesis in a minute.
Oh, don't get me started on chlorophyll. Oh. Definitely not chloroform.
No, don't talk about that. Not the time, David.
Not the time.
Yeah, so I thought that was odd as well, because I was just like, why are we in a cave, or are we outside, or why is there clouds on the moon?
I know, it's very odd, very odd. But I think we're definitely agreed. Not again, I keep saying that, like, we're agreed that this is the bust location. Yeah, it's not like it's a competition. If you think it's a bad location, I think it's a bad location. One's not worse than the other.
Yeah.
So that was our bad locations.
Yeah.
Right. Music.
There wasn't really a lot of music in it, was there? I put nothing down for music.
There wasn't. I've got some good music, but that's it.
Okay.
There was, but again, would we class it as music? I don't know. But we'll talk about that on the flip side anyway. But I don't have any bad music. There wasn't really any, apart from your incidental kind of stuff. There wasn't even really, like, even the music over the dance was kind of nondescript. It just wasn't.
Yeah, definitely that's the word, nondescript.
Yeah.
Nothing stood out, did it? There wasn't really much music.
It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It certainly didn't seem like it was written for the film.
No.
It's just, did they have stock music in the 50s? I honestly don't know.
No.
So yeah, I mean, we've literally got
Be a
nothing.
live band.
Yeah, like, and now we go to the band of the moon. They're all playing.
The cat band of the moon.
Yeah, they're. What would a band of cats play? Oh, they'd be the Aristocats, wouldn't they? They'd be like that fella playing the piano. Yeah. Everybody. Oh God, why am I singing so much tonight?
I don't know.
I'm singing a lot tonight. Maybe I'm excited. I don't know. So we've got nothing for music. Now, what about special effects, Emma?
Okay, so special effects.
Yes.
So the window from the rocket.
Okay.
So that's just
Yes.
like a piece of card with maybe some glitter on it to look at stars.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And we've got to talk about the image of the rocket from afar.
Oh God, we have to.
So I don't know if American listeners will get this reference, but Blue Peter
Yes, Blue Peter, definitely.
was a show in the UK where they quite often made like models, didn't they? Like
Yes.
showed kids at home how you can make a model of like something from Star Wars or something really famous like.
Yeah, there was the really, really famous Tracy Island from,
that's the thing,
Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they would and it would be like washing up liquid bottles and like paper mache things and
yogurt pots.
Yogurt pots.
Yes.
All that sort of stuff. So this rocket was literally like a Blue Peter, like get a washing up liquid bottle, get some cardboard, get some paper mache. It was like that. It was literally made out of cardboard, I think. It wasn't even plastic, was it?
No, and I don't even think it was 3D. I think it was just a flat bit of cardboard in rocket shape.
Actually, and it was, that typical, like I said, when a child draws a rocket ship, it was like pointy top, and then like a cylinder shape, the little bits coming off that the landing,
the wee fins, kind of landing
fins,
things. Yeah.
It was like that, and it was also looked like, especially when they were turning it around and stuff, that it was on a piece of wire maybe. Yeah. And they were moving it around like that because it was just like a black background, obviously. And but this thing,
and it was a completely black background. There were no stars on this background either.
Just literally black piece of paper
and a little bit of like
white rocket
fire coming at the
a little bit
bottom.
of fire,
Rocket fuel,
really long
and rocket
of fire, wasn't it? It was hilarious. It was just
it
looked absolutely awful. And the last special effects I've got that was really bad was the meteorite, the ball. Just like a ball of white with like little dots coming off of it. And the sound effect was like a really weak firework. Yeah. Yeah, it was just like somebody. Maybe it was just somebody whistling.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It was pretty awful.
It was bad.
So is that the last of your bad special effects?
Yeah.
Because I've got a bad special effect, and I don't know if it's you've not mentioned it because you might have it for the good. But I'm gonna. It's the appearing and disappearing.
Yeah,
have you got it into the good? Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I don't know what to do then. Oh, can I mention it?
Because mention it, yeah.
Okay, but I feel like I'm taken away from the good side
got
here.
Any other good ones?
No, I don't. I don't have any other good ones. Because the only other bad one I was thinking of was the meteor as well. Because the kind of the flashing the light that it was. Because And one thing I will say about the meteor, though, you know when they're on the moon and the meteor goes rushing over their heads,
Yeah.
it goes over them, okay, and it gets smaller and smaller as it's going off into the distance behind them.
Yeah.
But when it explodes, it very clearly looks like it's right on top of them. So it's a really weird thing where you get that perspective of it going into the background, even though the background is a a curtain.
Yeah.
It's a painted scene. It's a scene behind them. It's all painted, and it is just like an effect. It's like maybe you've scratched off some of the negative of the film.
Yeah.
And it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then when it explodes, it's really weird. It's it's way behind them, and then all of a sudden it's right on top of them.
Yeah.
It's like we couldn't quite get the explosion and the perspective of it being far in the distance right. So it pulls you back. It's very strange. So I'll say that about the second meteor.
Yes.
Because, people get attacked by meteors all the time in space.
Of course they do.
I'm taking out meteor insurance from a trip to the moon, by the way. This film has proven that I need to actually tick the box for that. But yes, my bad special effects is it happens twice in the film.
Yeah.
Where when Doug is attacked by Lambda the first time, and they capture Lambda, and they're kind of like questioning her, and she just bing disappears. There's no like bing sound effect.
Yeah.
But there's just a cut. She's there, click, then she's not, and she's gone. And it's like, oh, so the Catwoman can teleport?
Yeah.
Is that something cats can do?
No, but Catwomen can.
But maybe Catwomen can teleport.
Can I just, while we're
Go
on
on.
the...
Are you going to say what I think you're going to...
Probably.
Yeah.
The Catwomen
Yeah.
aren't cats or cat-like in any way.
No, they're not. This is exactly what I was just thinking.
Understand why
Yeah.
they didn't have tails, they didn't have little black noses, like, they didn't... Like,
No, they
there
didn't
was
have whiskers, didn't have pointy ears.
You know, like you think of Catwoman, like superhero Catwoman, there was no reference to cats.
Yeah.
And I was just like, the only thing they've done is they kind of given them crazy eyebrows, which were very straight and pointed up, but that's not like a cat either, is it? So
No.
I was like, why are they cat women? They did have like all black on.
All black leotards, yeah.
Yeah, leotards.
Is
but
that
they didn't
why?
have like a tail or...
No.
Where does the cat thing come from?
No idea
really
at all.
confused.
It's almost like they were like, women of the moon. Wait, that's not
doesn't sound
catchy
right,
enough.
no.
It's not catchy enough. We need something
Give it a
else.
twist.
Pigeons of the moon. Pigeon women of the moon. No. They're all in black. Oh, black cat. Black cat women of the moon. Yes. Great. Here's $20,000. Go make it.
Yeah.
I tried to look up the budget. The budget's not mentioned on IMDb.
Oh, okay.
So I've got no idea. Maybe $20,000 might have been too much for a film. Oh, maybe we could Google that. What's the average movie budget in the 50s? Average movie budget, 1953. Oh, there's a chart. Oh, wow. I was way out. Using the Eddie Mannix Ledger's figures, the average production cost per film can be calculated as, in 1952 to 1953, $1,307,000.
Okay.
I think that most films were probably about $1,300,000. This one was the 7,000.
Yeah. I think so.
I think that would make sense.
I think that might be right.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, that's all I've got for the bad special effects. Now, what about bad actress?
I didn't have a bad actress.
No, again, there was nothing particularly stand out bad.
No.
Other than the fact that no one was particularly good. It was just, they just came on, they did a bit.
Yeah.
And there was no acting, really. It was just, I'm a Catwoman. I've learned how to control my mind.
Yeah.
Now you're one of us, Helen. That was it. It wasn't really...
Did you have anything down for casting?
No, nothing either. Casting...
No.
Again, although what did make me laugh is the casting for the dancing. With the Catwomen, where they were detailed as... the Hollywood cover girls as the Catwomen. Now, I don't know. I don't know if the Hollywood cover girls are supposed to be a dance group, or if they are literally just cover girls for magazine shoots or whatever, just models.
They're definitely not dancers.
But they're definitely not dancers. They're really not dancers.
No, they really weren't.
So yeah, I think this movie just seems to be a way to promote the Hollywood cover girls, rather than. But then most scenes of theirs are just cut. Probably because they saw them move and were like, "Wait a second, this isn't this is no good. Cut, end the movie." Very strange. So, if anything, I would just say the Hollywood cover girls, bad casting choice. They didn't look particularly cat-like. They didn't move particularly graceful, because they just disappeared instead of moving.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and just say a bad bit of casting was them. So yeah, that's them. Now, all we've got left are any of our wild cards.
Yeah.
So I've got quite a few bad, and they're all lines.
Oh, okay.
Actually. So what have you got for wild cards?
I've got props, costume, and line. Although I'm just looking at my props and I put one down as bad. I don't know if it was good or bad.
Oh, go on.
But I've got another good one. So
Okay.
So yeah, you mentioned it earlier. So when he goes down into the engine room to fix the problem of the smoke or the steam or whatever it is,
Yeah.
after they're hit, there is literally a dial on the wall.
Oh yeah.
And it literally says normal on the left hand side, and then danger. I'm going to call it the danger-o-meter.
The danger-o-meter, yes.
And then a needle that just goes. So the needle's on danger, obviously.
Yeah.
And then once he fixes the problem, it just goes back down to normal. And it's just like normal or danger.
And they celebrate. Yeah, he's fixed it.
It's like that's the piece of equipment, the high tech piece of equipment that says, okay, no problems on the ship now.
That's it. We're done. Everyone's happy.
So, but I don't know if that was a good one because I quite liked it. But
Yeah.
I have got another good one. So.
I know what you mean. It was funny, but I don't think funny makes it a good prop. When I don't know. Go on. What else have you got?
That was it for props.
Okay.
I've also got costumes down because
Yes.
they're spacesuits.
Yeah.
So the spacesuits. So we couldn't work this out. So two of the people had what can only be described as fish tanks. You know the classic round fish tank.
Yeah.
Those on their heads.
Well, three of them had the fish tanks.
Oh,
so
three
you
of them,
had
sorry.
Kip, Laird, and Helen.
Okay, so they had the fish tanks.
Yeah.
The
And
other people.
when they were in their spacesuits, they had the most lines. So I think that's why they've given them those three big see-through fish tanks.
And they also had like a little thing on the front.
Which
I said, does that not look like air holes? But maybe it was because they couldn't hear them to record.
I think that's probably
The sound
it.
equipment had to pick them up.
Yeah.
Because obviously you wouldn't go out onto the moon or into space with holes in the helmet. That negates the point of the helmet, doesn't it?
It does.
So they had those, and yeah, like you say, I didn't think about that. They were the ones that were speaking the most.
Yeah.
And the others had what I think looked like, you know, in the hairdressers where people get like their perms done, the old women get their hair set, and they put them in that big like hairdryer.
Yeah.
They look like those. They were like a weird kind of metal cylinder shape.
It's exactly
with obviously like a clear front. And then the actual suits were like, they looked like duvets. And then they had like duvets but with like, what's it called? Like thick bits around the shoulders and almost
like extra,
thick,
yes.
Yeah, like padded bits.
Yeah.
And then they had these belts on that had clearly fake buttons and dials. Like what
were they doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just awful. The suits were just awful.
It did make me chuckle because when they were walking on the moon, I was thinking to myself, they're just talking to each other in zero atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's not how sound works.
No.
They'd have to literally put their helmets head to head for them to be able to transfer sound to each other. They'd have to be using radios or some form of like shortwave communication between them. There's me being fancy. I don't know if it's shortwave communication, but they need some kind of radio communication between each other. You can't just walk out into the moon and speak and people hear you.
No.
It doesn't happen. Yeah. But again, it was 1953. how much did we know about the moon?
Exactly.
And travelling on the moon?
Clearly nothing.
Clearly nothing. I'm pretty sure we had an idea you couldn't just go on the moon and talk to each other on the moon, because I think we were aware the moon doesn't have an atmosphere to allow that to happen by that age, by that era. Yeah. But speaking of talking on the moon, one of my wild cards is a bad line. So the very first person who gets out of the aircraft is Laird, and he gets off of the contraption that gets him down, because we've not talked about that yet. I don't know if you want to put that in the bad or the good, so I won't mention it.
Okay.
But he gets off of the contraption that gets them out of the ship, and he first puts his foot on the moon, okay? And what he's doing is he's checking the ship for any damage.
Yeah.
But the first thing he says is, "It works, come ahead." And I thought to myself, that's not as good a line as "one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," in any way, shape or form. It works, come ahead. Laird, you had your one chance. The whole world is probably watching you. But yeah, just...
No, we'll talk about the way they get onto the moon in the good, I think.
Yeah, in the good.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Right. Okay,
Sorry,
in which case...
The only other thing was, I think you said this earlier though, a bad death.
Yeah,
the guy
okay.
gets stabbed in the shoulder.
Oh, yes!
So literally, she stabbed him
Walt.
in the shoulder.
Yes.
Remember those knives that kids used to get as a kid, where, like obviously not real knives, like
the
plastic,
retractable ones.
Retractable
Yes,
ones.
yeah.
So plastic knives. So then you put it on somebody's body and it retracts in, so that it looks like you've stabbed them.
Yes.
It was literally one of those, I think.
It was, yeah.
So they just stabbed this guy in the shoulder, and then he just died. But I don't think you can die from that, can you?
I mean, if it's
you stab
I
someone in the
imagine,
shoulder?
if the blade was about 3 feet long, yes.
Yeah, but it was not.
But it wasn't. It really wasn't. And
So
even...
you just get a nasty cut, but you wouldn't die, would you?
No, you
Instantly?
wouldn't. And it was such a big blade that as she was pushing it into him, you could see that it was retracting into the handle as well.
You could see.
Because it was... It's just so odd. But yes, his death was a little bit underwhelming. Even Lambda's death, I thought was bad.
Yeah.
Because she just gets hit on the head with a rock and she dies. That's it. I mean, yes, I understand being hit on the head can kill you. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that big a blow. It's a tap.
Yeah.
She goes down and she dies.
Yeah.
Maybe Catwomen of the Moon have got particularly soft heads. Maybe. I'll accept that if that's the case. But yeah. Walt's death with the stabbing in the shoulder. I think we both watched that and we're just in hysterics at it. I do have another bad line.
Oh, okay.
And it's Walt. So Walt, who dies, he wakes up in the ship, and this is literally one of the first lines that is said in the film. He gets up from his bed for the first time from the effects of the G-force on the ship. He gets up and he sees Helen. Bearing in mind, he must have got on the ship with her and knew Helen was there. But he gets up, he looks at Helen and says, "I'm going to collect some bets." While he's looking really...
I thought you said bats, so I was really confused.
You did. You didn't. You said, "I'm going to..." Oh, what? I can't remember. It wasn't collect some bats, but it was, "I'm going to some bats." I can't remember the word you thought he said. But it was like, no, he said, "I'm going to collect some bets."
What is he talking about?
But he's saying this while he's looking really lasciviously at Helen as well. Oh, that's a good word, lasciviously. Yeah. And he's really like, what bets are you gonna... I don't understand,
that,
Walt. What bets are you gonna collect?
I have no idea what he meant by
it's
that.
It's like, not sure what you mean there, Walt. Yeah. It's, little bit of a strange one. And I do have one more bad line.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were done.
No, I've got one more bad line. Okay. So, I alluded to this earlier, and it's the boots. You know how the boots are heavy to counteract the gravity, blah, blah, blah.
Makes total sense.
Total sense. And when Helen gets off the ship, she just starts walking. She goes, and she says it so loudly and so weirdly, she just goes, "These boots are heavy." So I don't know so much the line is bad. It was just the delivery. It was like, "These boots are heavy." You don't talk like that at any other point in the film, Helen. What's going on here? So yes, I just thought, yeah, that was pretty terrible. Have you got any more wild cards?
Only to mention the kissing scenes.
Oh, okay.
I just...
You were like a 10-year-old boy.
I know, because...
You've seen The Princess Bride, haven't you?
Yes.
When he starts talking about, and Humperdinck and not Humperdinck, and the princess and, oh, for God's sake, I've forgotten his name, the hero's name. They kissed, and he's like, oh, Grandad, leave out the kisses. That was you watching this film.
Yeah.
Oh, God, we don't need these kisses.
Because the first one was... Oh, what's his name? What's the guy she kisses that isn't her boyfriend?
Kip.
Kip's like 50-odd and she's 30-odd, I think.
Yes.
And it was just like an old person kiss. You know when old people kiss, but they like move around too much and it's just a bit grim. It's just like, what are you doing? That's not how you kiss.
They move around too much.
Just like move their heads a lot.
Is this while he was softening?
Probably.
That's why he was moving around a lot.
He probably was softening that kiss. It was just grim.
Yeah, it was a bit grim.
You know when actors just overdo it? It's like no one kisses like that.
No.
Yeah,
No,
I
they
just
don't.
didn't like it.
Honestly,
Sorry,
they
I
don't.
was an 8-year-old boy, but I didn't like it.
It did make me chuckle. You're like, oh my God, the kissing.
Yeah,
it's like,
kissing again.
oh, all right. Do I have to explain? Adults do sometimes when they're in love with each other.
And you really, really love someone.
And you really love someone. Sometimes you'll kiss them on the mouth. It's called Frenching.
Night, kids.
Good night. By the way, you've got French GCSE tomorrow. What? Right.
Yeah, that's it. That's all of mine.
I don't have any more bad, anything else bad to say about it. Well, I've got a lot bad to say about this film, but nothing I think that is worthy of the podcast.
No.
Okay. So how much are we going to score this film?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you want me to go first?
Yes, I do.
I'm going to give it 3 stars out of 5.
3?
I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. 1 star because it's only an hour long.
Yeah.
Okay. Another star because it's a 50s film. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a little bit twee. And I think some of it was a little tongue-in-cheek. If anyone watches this film, there was a few things that they said and they did that I thought, I feel like they're having a little bit of fun with this. And there's a few things that were like, I can't even think of an example of it now. I only watched it last night.
Yeah.
I should remember it. But there's a few bits that made me think, I feel like the cast are having a little bit of a laugh at this point.
Oh, okay.
So I'm giving them a star because it was a 50s film. It was a ridiculous premise, cat women on the moon.
That weren't even cat women.
We weren't even cat women. I think you're more disappointed about that. This is why it's not getting 4 stars. If they were proper cat women...
I'm just confused. Why'd they call it cat women?
But I think it gets a star because, they were having a bit of a laugh with a really stupid premise.
Yeah.
And they were playing up to that a little bit. And it gets a star as well because it was only an hour long. I've given it 2 stars because it was only an hour long.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah,
Said that.
I know. But no, also, it wasn't a completely unenjoyable film. It was funny enough to keep me entertained, but also and not feel like I've wasted an hour of my life watching this.
Yeah.
It wasn't awful. It was a kitsch little B-movie, daft, silly adventure that I'm not sitting there thinking, entertain me. You must be great. It wasn't, and it didn't pretend to be great, and...
Certainly didn't do that.
I know it doesn't sound like it's worth 3 stars,
No.
but I can't explain how it just...
How happy you were that it was short.
Yeah, happy it was short. But it, I think it's like when movies try too hard, this movie didn't try too hard at all. And it was just a really silly, stupid film, like...
And the lesson is never try.
Like Giant Killer Ants or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And we had Catwomen of the Moon with mental powers and giant spiders and people blinking in and out of existence.
Yeah.
And it was just silly camp fun. Yeah. So that's why I'm giving it 3 stars.
Okay.
But yeah, what are you thinking?
I think I'm going to give it 1.5.
Okay. Explain yourself.
The half is literally just for the danger meter.
Okay, fair.
And then one for things like the Blue Peter rocket and like their costumes and stuff. Yeah, I think I'm going
So
to do
even though they were bad in our estimation
bad,
from
but-
our wild cards and that,
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think
but it was endearing
they
enough
were
to
bad, but they were funny.
yes,
Yeah.
and that's I think why I've given it 3 because of those little bits.
Yeah.
And the extra because it was an hour.
I can't mark it too high because of the kissing.
Yeah, that's taken off 3.5 stars. Yeah, the kissing was that bad.
Yeah.
And Emma is a prepubescent boy. Oh, kissing, girls, cat women.
Yeah, literally.
So, 1.5 stars from you, 3 stars from me.
Yeah.
That was Catwoman of the Moon. So we're going to now go away and, like our brand new Patreon subscriber, Rebecca, she's going to be able to hear all the good stuff about this film on the Patreon. So we're going to go and record that for Rebecca and all of our other wonderful Patreon listeners. If you're interested in hearing that, you can find us at www.patreon.com/ICBadMovies. You can sign up for free if you're not fully, invested. You can follow us for free and you will be able to hear the first episode of each season for free.
Yeah.
And if you like that enough, then you can unlock the rest of the episodes for a simple $3 a month as well. So if you're interested, and we've got better, we've got to save up. We're saving up.
Recording equipment, yes.
So
that's on our Christmas list, isn't it?
It is. It's our Christmas list. It's like, can you please get me a microphone?
Yes.
What we need, what we desperately need, is something to plug the microphones into, so we've got different channels, so I can turn you up and me down a bit, because I'm naturally very loud, and you're naturally speak at a normal volume.
It's not that I'm quiet. It's just that David's very loud.
Yeah, I'm very loud. And I know there's probably a way that I can do it on these microphones to say that my microphone is lower, but we can't even turn them up. We can't. The thing is with these microphones, we can't even stop them recording. They're always on now. There's a button to record, and it doesn't matter. They're just on forever. So we can't even stop recording one. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But yeah, we're having a meeting again.
I know, we
always do this. So you can come and join us on the Patreon if you so wish. It would be lovely to see you there. It's a goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.